So, today I'm reacting to the Mac Miller NPR concert. He's got a Thundercat there on the bass. Shit is ill. Shit is ill. So, if you pay attention closely, if you pay attention. Okay. See the mouse, right? Yeah, there. So, if you pay attention, you can really notice the unison between the musicians. Like you can see how Thundercat and Mac Miller have come together to kind of groove, but the only way you can really get through that is through chemistry and a lot of like repetition. So they clearly have gotten time to practice and hone in that chemistry. Now, for most people, that's going to be something that's going to take some time, especially if you come from two different genres. For example, like I had to really learn jazz music to really cooperate and create with other jazz musicians, right? Coming from a more school structured background, that took a little more learning than somebody who grew up listening to jazz or somebody who's been comfortable just, picking up an instrument and learning as they go. And it's part of why they get to really have fun and do what they really do. A big thing about playing for musicians in general is to evoke emotion, and you, depending on what mood you want to create, you want to create a happy one that other people can relate to. That way you can have awesome music. Keep water on deck. Most musicians, when they go on stage, they're not keeping water, they're not keeping towels. They go up pretty much dry. And a lot of it is because there's a lack of preparation when it comes to the shows. I've seen musicians jump right out of their Uber or their car and basically load up the stage and then start performing, no sound check or anything. Hearing that out your mouth is ridiculous, but it happens. A lot of people are performing their music like this. So something as simple as having your own case of water on deck is a good professional tip that I can give you. Also, notice the number of musicians. The number of musicians is going to be very important because you're going to have to, split payments as well as responsibilities. But what this does is it allows for a lot of the different musicians to cooperate their communities together as well. So, for example, you can see the stringed instruments along with the percussionists and things like that. This makes a true band, a true ensemble, right? But the thing about this is what it adds beyond having maybe a DJ or a beat machine with Mac Miller on stage is it adds a bit of complexity to the viewer and the audience, as well as complexity to people who can relate to these instruments and these players. So for some people, they may be 55 years old and always wanted to learn the bass guitar, or maybe wanted to learn singing or learn whatever instrument that you may be presenting on stage. These are proper opportunities for you to expose people to that, and as well as expose the artists to other people that want to learn about what they're doing as well, providing them opportunities to maybe improve on their artistry or maybe connect with people in a positive way. This is also something that many artists aren't doing today because it takes a little bit more effort, but it also takes a little bit of networking on the hands of everybody. Like, even if you're not into music, you're going to have to really understand people and understand the emotional effect music can have on people visually as well as auditorily, like hearing yourself or hearing, as well as feeling physically, like actually seeing and feeling an instrument versus hearing a trumpet played. You can now see the person touching the instrument and see how they're controlling and manipulating the instrument to get the job done. It's a totally different experience than just going to a club and hearing the music performed or having someone play a track and only one piece of it is really animated in the real world. It's very interesting how music can really affect the real world with just sound. Now, the next thing I want you to pay attention to is when they begin playing, pay close attention to their body language. A lot of their body language is going to be emoted through the instruments as well as emoted through um, a way of communicating from the person playing towards the audience. So pay attention. So if you notice, Mac on one hand, he's kind of in like a kind of covered position. It's more of a submissive one, but I'll say more of a background playing type of pose. One where you get to remove the focus off of him and then focus on the string ensemble that's performing right now. Now, the key thing you want to know is that the string ensemble is playing a role, right? It's not a solo, it's not an improvisation, it's a key structure, a key pillar to what needs to happen for what they as a group want to communicate to you as a listener. So once you keep that in mind when you're writing your music and you're understanding your position in a band and an ensemble, this can make a lot of the things you need to do as a musician very, very simple, but they'll also make them very effective because simple similar to how a marching band has sections, right? You can't have each section performing their own individual, agenda. They have to be on one accord in order for everybody to make a unified song or even performance, and then for that matter, because it may not be music that you're performing. So you can tell as a group they understand this. Now, it may not be something that's like, we're going to write this on paper and structure this out and make this a play. It's never like that. It's just the theory of music and understanding body language, communication, and how these vibrations of our sounds can reverberate off of one another, and being able to manipulate and structure that for a specific poignant reason is very skillful, and it takes it, you see how many people's on stage, it takes a lot of focus to get that done. Now, if you look closely at the piano player, he's doing a little bit of rocking and things like that. This is something you'll typically see in the percussive section, along with, I would say, the piano as well. But the percussive section, because a lot of the muscle memory that comes with performing your part or your piece of the music is going to be very, very intentional when it comes to manipulating your body to get the job done. So for typically the piano players and drummers, they get into this kind of tempo rock, and it helps them count as well as help everybody around the room vibe into one movement, and it helps your body count as well from a brain or mind to muscle connection. So what this does for him as an individual player is it allows him to comfortably sit into what we call as a pocket. He can now comfortably hit each individual note, give them the right voicing, the right spacing, and things like that. And it also allows him to hear what's going on around him. Because if he were to just lock into his own tempo, he may be going too fast for, let's say, the lead guitarist or even the other violinist, maybe doing a solo part or things like that. But this rocking is very, very important when it comes to setting a tempo with most people. You'll see it a lot with a smaller woodwinds and things like that, clarinets, alto saxophones, and things like that. And you'll see it typically in large ensembles when they want to communicate rhythm or set a tempo for one another. Okay, if you a veteran musician, you know that face right there. That face right there is emotion being conveyed strictly through your fingers. That's something a lot of musicians usually get to pull off when they really did that one lick, that one turnaround, or that one problem note in the song, and it really, really, really resonated with them. But that's one of those faces that when you hit it, you're gonna unscrunch your face up as the piano player, and you're gonna look around. You're gonna see about 4 or 5 other people that play instruments as well making that same face. Okay, put in the comments why you think she's smiling. A big part of playing a physical instrument, especially as I'm learning more and more instruments, is that you really have to put your all into a performance if you want it to come out at 100%, if you understand what I'm saying. So, to give you an example, the woman behind her, she's not smiling, but that's not to say she's not enjoying what she's doing, right? But she is at the same time focused, which means that she's focusing her energy on what she's doing. Now, the woman in the front, she's smiling because what she's getting from her focus is pleasant and she's enjoying it. As simple as that. But it's something that when you see people performing live, you can't really put this into words, which is kind of why videos like this perform so well. And videos like this resonate so well with people in general is because you can truly see emotion change and be affected in real time. So yeah, that's it for me. This was a cool little breakdown, and I wanted to, try this out with you guys and see how you guys would like this. If this is cool and YouTube is cool with me doing stuff like this, I'm gonna keep it up. But essentially, I just want to break down how it is performing live as a musician, especially for you young musicians out there who are going to be in school and you're going to be learning your instruments and things like that. There's going to be small, small little soft skills that you really, really need to master quickly and at a young age, because these are going to be the skills that make you, especially the people around you, really stand out, especially if you want to get into ensembles and things like that. So, if you enjoyed this, let me know and leave a comment below, because I definitely want to keep making more and more videos like this for you guys. And we're going to definitely keep this going. So, hit the like and subscribe button and let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video. Peace.